If I got $1 every time someone asks me this question, trust me, I will be rich. Yeah. It's just mind-blowing how people are obsessed with shortcuts to growth. So the big question is, does genetics play a role in hair growth? Yeah, genetics has everything to do with hair growth. Yes, it does. It has every single thing to do with hair growth. I'm not disputing the fact that hair products also play a role in your hair growth. For example, you have a shampoo that plays the role of cleaning your scalp so that your pores are not clogged, thereby not slowing down the growth of your hair. You have a conditioner that is a leave-in conditioner to moisturize your hair and prevent it from dryness. You have a deep conditioner to help you be able to retain moisture more in your hair to prevent dryness. All these products, mostly they help you to be able to prevent breakage, thereby making it easier for you to be able to retain length. Do you understand? You have hair growth oil that is very good, especially when you use it in scalp massages to help stimulate blood flow to your scalp, thereby facilitating the growth of your hair. So you see, each of these products have a role that they play. At the end of the day, most of these products are meant to prevent our hair from dryness. That is the major role that they play. And when dryness is prevented, you are no longer prone to breakage. And when breakage does not happen, you're able to retain length, thereby making sure that your hair grows long to the length that you want. Now we have this obsession in the natural hair community, and if you're wondering why people keep capitalizing on that, I think it's due to the lack of knowledge of a lot of people, due to our obsession with long hair, due to our lack of effort. Because a lot of people want long hair, but you're not willing to put in effort. You're not willing to work for it. You're not willing to do the things you're supposed to do to make sure that your hair grows. That is where the problem comes. Because a lot of you just want a set of products that you're going to use for the next 2 weeks, 1 month, and your hair is all grown to the length that you want. I'm sorry, that is never going to happen. Hair growth is only going to happen when you also make sure to put in the effort you're supposed to put in to take care of your hair. Someone will go and mix all kinds of nonsense and come and be selling to someone that is hair growth, and they're making their money. And of course, you need products to be able to manage your hair. But when you start to have that mentality that products are meant to help you to be able to grow your hair, that is where you get it wrong. And that's why a lot of you are so frustrated. It's not like you don't have the hair. You do have the hair, but you are too lazy. You want everything to be handed to you without you working for it, which is not going to happen. I'm going to be talking about how I was able to grow my hair, the things that I did. I'm also going to be explaining the role of genetics in relation to hair growth. There's a hair growth cycle that exists. We have the anagen phase, we have the catagen phase, and we have the telogen phase. These are the 3 phases of hair growth, but for this video, I'm going to be focusing on the anagen phase. Now, when we talk about the anagen phase, it refers to the phase where a person's strand of hair grows to a certain length before it sheds off. Now, some people have longer anagen phase than others. It varies from one individual to another, which is why some people's hair grow longer than others. That is to tell you that the rate at which my hair will grow is not the same rate at which your hair will grow. Do you understand? So that's why you cannot really compare your hair to other people when it comes to hair growth, because you don't know if that person's anagen phase lasts longer than yours, which is why that person's hair grows at a faster rate than your hair. So while you are going around comparing your hair with others, remember that it's possible that the next person might have a longer anagen phase, allowing that person to grow the person's hair longer within that period of time, and you might have a shorter anagen phase. You see, these things, they vary from one person to another. So do not try to kill yourself just because the next person's hair is growing longer than yours. Don't do that. I'm going to explain to you guys the roles of genetics in your hair. Remember, I said earlier that genetics has everything to do with your hair growth. In fact, for me, I feel like hair growth is 80% genetics and the remaining 20% is just your hair care techniques. So even if you're able to grow your hair and you don't have the techniques for it, it's going to affect your hair growth. That is just my own opinion, because I'm someone that has hair, but earlier on in my journey, when I was not doing the right things, my hair was not growing. It was stuck at a particular length because there was so much breakage happening and there was no routine in place to help me take care of my hair. At the end of the day, even if you have the genes and you don't have the hair growth techniques to take care of your hair, you are still not going to be able to grow your hair. So these two, they go hand in hand. No matter how you look at it, at the end of the day, you need your genes and you also need good hair care practices or techniques, which is what I will explain later in this video. Two of them are going to work hand in hand to be able to give you the length that you want and the length that you deserve. That is what I believe. I don't know what you believe, but that is my own opinion. Okay, number one, genetics plays a role in your hair texture. It's going to determine if your hair is going to be straight, wavy, coily, or curly. These four things. That's why you see that people have different textures depending on their race, you understand, or depending on what they're mixed with. That's why you see that African Americans, although not all of them, have looser hair texture. I think theirs is actually described as curly, while ours is more of coily because our hair is more kinky than theirs. Like I said, it's not all of them. You understand what I'm trying to say? So genetics is going to determine your hair texture. Next, genetics is going to determine your hair color. Is it going to be black? Is it going to be brown? Is it going to be red? Or is it going to be blonde? It varies depending on your genetics, depending on what your parents give to you. Mine is very much black, very, very, very black. And people used to ask me all the time, right from when I was little, if I dyed my hair. But no, I've never put dye in my hair, but my hair is naturally black, which is why I'm always so scared, so scared to use any bleach or any hair dye on my hair. I rather just use the artificial ones. Genetics also determines the hair density and thickness of your hair. For someone like me, I have really high density and my hair is also very, very thick. Now, people with high hair density appear to have a fuller appearance, and people with thick hair appear to have longer hair because their strands are really, really thick and is less prone to breakage. Do you understand? Which is why whenever you see people with high hair density and also people that have thick hair strands, their hair always looks so full and so long. Sometimes it's not actually that long, but the thickness and the density is giving you the impression that this person's hair is very long, but sometimes their length is actually shorter than what you see. Genetics also has to do with your hair growth speed, which is what I explained when I was talking about the anagen phase. The rate at which some people's hair grows is faster than others, which is why I explained earlier that your anagen phase might be longer than the next person, because your anagen phase lasts longer than the next person, allowing you to grow longer strands of hair. And also, genetics plays a role in thinning of hair and hair loss. While genetics plays a fundamental role in your hair growth, there are also other factors that might be hindering the growth of your hair. One is your diet. Now, foods that are rich in biotin, iron, vitamin D helps with optimal hair growth. So if you want your hair to grow, you also have to consume food that are rich in the things that I've mentioned. Next is hair care practices, which I'm going to get to shortly. And then the other factor is stress and lifestyle. I explained this in my last video, which I'm also going to link up in the description. If you have not seen that video, please go check it out. I spoke about stress and how stress affects the overall growth of our hair, and not just our hair, it also affects the overall well-being of our body system. The next factor is medical health conditions. This could be hormonal imbalance, this could be autoimmune disorders, and the list goes on. And lastly, age. As you age, the rate at which your hair grows might not be the same to when you were younger. That means hair growth changes with age, and as you age, you may experience a slowdown in the rate at which your hair grows, and this is pretty much normal. There's nothing to worry about there because it's just a natural process that your body goes through. So these are the other factors that might affect the growth of your hair. Now I'm going to tell you guys how I was able to grow my hair. Earlier on in my hair journey, I was confused on how to care for my hair. It's like that with everything. Whenever you're new to something, there's a lot of confusion, so you're out there researching and trying to understand a lot of things and find your way around it. So what I did, because initially when I started my hair journey, I was doing a lot of things wrong and it affected even the volume of my hair. As someone who has a lot of volume due to high density and also thickness, it also affected the volume of my hair. So what I did differently and I started to notice change in my hair growth was, one, I developed a hair care routine. A lot of times we underestimate the importance of a hair care routine, but trust me, you need a process, you need a procedure to follow every time you want to take care of your hair, and you have to be consistent with that routine. You have to be consistent with that regimen. We have spoken about hair care routine a lot of times. I even have a wash day routine here. I've spoken about how to moisturize your hair. Like, I've spoken about all these things on my YouTube channel. So if you have missed out on any of these things, I'm going to link the videos below. Make sure you go check it out. Number 2 was length retention. Length retention is very, very, very important, especially if you want to grow long hair. Unless maybe you don't want length, then you will not care about length retention. One of the biggest enemies of length retention is breakage. Yeah, and excessive shading. It's very normal for your hair to shade, but when it becomes excessive, then it's a problem. And then breakage. Breakage is even the main beef here. Like, once your hair starts to break, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to retain that length. You will not be able. I have a video on hair breakage and how to be able to prevent hair breakage and hair loss. I'm going to link that video below, so make sure you go check it out. Especially if you want to be able to grow long hair, because the only way you're going to be able to retain length is to prevent breakage. And also, this leads me to my next point, which is protective styling. Protective styling is also another way for you to be able to retain length. It's very, very important. It helps to prevent you from over manipulating your hair, and it also helps you to be able to retain length, because when your hair is in a protective style, you're not touching it, so it's not experiencing any form of breakage, it's not experiencing any form of over manipulation. You understand? And why it's in a protective style, especially for some protective styles, actually it's easier for you to moisturize, but for others it's not. But the most important thing is your hair is left alone when it's in a protective style. Next is good hair care techniques or practices. Remember when I was talking about factors that affect your hair growth, I mentioned hair practices, but I said I was going to talk about it very soon. Yeah, this is where it falls. So if you don't have good hair care practices or techniques, you are not going to be able to grow your hair. Do you understand? This covers everything that has to do with over manipulation. And when we talk about over manipulation, we're referring to things like over combing, over styling, excessive use of heat. We're referring to using products that have harmful chemicals, especially when it comes to things like bleach or dyeing. I spoke about bleach and dye in hair breakage, so if you watch that video, you get a more better understanding of what I'm trying to explain, because hair bleaching and hair dyeing is an aggressive process, and it also makes your hair to be prone to breakage. So go watch that video to understand better. So genetics helps to grow your hair, but hair care practices are very, very important. The way you handle your hair matters. The way you go about things with your hair matters. That hair care routine matters. All these things, they fall under good hair care practices. All this length retention I've spoken about, when you look at it, they are good hair care practices, and they help you to be able to care for your hair better. So this is really, really important. Do not underestimate the importance of length retention, protective styling, good hair care regimen, and good hair care practices. We keep saying these things, but a lot of you just look at it like it's nothing because you're lazy. And when you're lazy, you cannot grow long hair. So that is all I have to say for this video. Thank you for staying to the end of my video. On this channel, we do everything surrounding natural hair, lifestyle, and makeup content. And if that sounds like what interests you, please do not forget to hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I put out a new video. And also, please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up and share it with people you think is going to be of help to. Thank you all for staying to the end of my video, and I'll see you guys in the next, okay? Bye!